I think it's cool because the messages of zombies are so deep, and there's just lifelong messages that never go old of just acceptance and treating others the way they want to be treated.
Fight for what you believe in, because what's on the line is your future.
How does it feel now that you have to be involved in executive production, also being an actress? What changed from Zombie 1 to now as a creative perspective?
So much. I feel like on Zombies 1, I had just turned 16. Now I had just turned 25. So it's been so many years of just changes. I think, the fourth one was the first time that me and Milo have ever executive produced. So we had so much creative input, like on anywhere from costuming to script to cast, and so we had so much input. And I think on Zombies 1 we had so much input as well that we couldn't do because we were just actors. And now that we love the world and we love zombies so much, and to be able to have creative control in any way has just been really cool.
In terms of a narrative, because for me it's super interesting now how you can add things like the walkers, and now it means something outside what is literally, because when I was growing up, I was watching all these shows on Disney, but I never saw anything like zombies, the walkers, vampires. I think in the past 15-20 years, kids maybe has evolved in their taste. How do you feel this evolution, and what do you think heads in terms of narrative for Zombie 5, 6, 7? I don't know how many you have in mind.
Yeah, I feel like for the next movies, I feel very confident about them doing another movie. I don't know what that looks like for Milo and I. I feel like I would love to be behind the camera and to executive produce again. That would be so incredible. And I don't know what they'll do, but I'm sure there's probably more monsters to come if I have to guess. And I think it's cool because the messages of zombies are so deep, and there's just lifelong messages that never go old of just acceptance and treating others the way they want to be treated. But they do it in such a fun way with zombies and werewolves and vampires and daywalkers. I think it's just a fun way for kids to understand these deep messages with like all of these theatrical monsters. I think it's like a fun way for kids to learn. It is really funny, and there's so many monsters now.
Because for me, I remember I only get to watch this character doing bad things, and not funny, not adventures, not nothing. So I think now kids have this upper hand that they can see all these stories and feel probably identified, even choosing a side.
Totally, yeah. I think that's kind of the whole point of what like the creators wanted to. Obviously it's very like theatrical and silly, but we've only seen zombies and werewolves and like aliens in this kind of like scary light, and that's all we've learned. So it's kind of like, maybe that's how people feel about other people as well. And then when you get to know them and talk to them, and you realize that that's just not true. I think it's really cool that I get to be a part of movies like that.
Now that you are in the other side of the industry, because now you're seeing the business side. And how do you feel about these platforms and like Disney Plus? Like we can, like these stories before, you have to have like a cable to pay and to watch these kind of stories. Now you only have to go online and have access to it, no matter where you are. How do you feel in terms of actors and now it's like executive producer, in terms of opportunities for others?
Yeah, it's so surreal. I think like Zombies 4, this has been like the craziest response I've ever received out of all of the movies. I think that's because of social media. I think that's because of the fact that it's on Disney Plus. Like all 4 movies are on Disney Plus. So no matter what age range you are, or wherever you're at in life, if you have Disney Plus, like they're like on there. And then like for me, it used to be like, oh, you have to be at your couch at like 8 p.m. on Friday night to watch. And now it's just like it's so accessible. And I think that is super new and something that I'm still getting used to. I think it creates so much more opportunity. But the reaction from Zombies 4 has been crazier than I could have ever expected. And it's really cool.
Do you see the social media as an ally for stories like this? Do you see it as something that you want to keep exploring how people react, not just to social media, and use that feedback for possible, sequels or other stories to create?
Definitely, yeah. I think like not only me and Milo, but I think just like everybody at Disney, of course, looks at social media and tries to see the reaction and see how people are like responding to the movie, and that definitely goes into the next movies and to see what they like and didn't like 100%. I think that's like a really important thing that they look at. So so it's good that most of the like reaction has been positive, so that's good.
For me, it's also super interesting how you use the team behind you. Use the narrative that a kid from the States can understand, and a kid from Mexico can understand, a kid from any part of Europe can understand what's going on. Because before I felt that the many of the story were focusing for American audience, North American audience.
Yeah.
What was behind that? It was that on purpose, or it was something that just evolved in the previous this four movie?
Yeah, I think with all of the movies, like again with like the message of acceptance and treating others the way they want to be treated, and maybe having a stereotype in your head about what about these different monsters and groups of people, and then you get to know them and you realize that they're just like you. And I think that's just like a universal message that can be comprehended in any way. I think we decided to do it with like monsters and really fun songs and dance. And I think no matter what the language is, you can just like tell that that's what's happening through the music. I think music is a huge part of it, because I think with music that's just like a universal language. Like no matter what language is being spoken, you can always like feel what they're saying, and it provokes emotion. And I think Disney just always does an amazing job with that, just like not even just zombies. So I think the music helps, and I think just the messaging being just comprehensible for kids just makes it comprehensible for everybody.
Are you also involved in the lyrics, like writing the lyrics, approving the lyrics, everything? Are you involved in that too?
No, actually, it was so cool because they pitched like songs, and so the music director knows which parts of the script he wants to be songs, and he like breaks it up, and then he will send out prompts to just music producers, and then a bunch of music producers will write songs, and then they pick the best one. So this time around, we got to be in that process more of like picking what song, and then also being able to hear the songs that weren't chosen. And then he was like, this is why we didn't choose these songs. And it was really cool to see the process of like what goes into that, like it being catchy enough, it like provoking the feeling enough of what they wanted, and it's really cool to see what they do.
Meg, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Ruben.